Greetings Hoovians of YouTube, and welcome to another video of me, Sutekh from Mars, and as displayed by the title today, we'll be taking a look at the second serial of Season 22, Vengeance on Varos, providing my perception and review of this story. So, as always, we'll begin by reading the synopsis if you haven't previously perceived this serial. On the planet Varos, prisoners and guards alike are subject to the severest forms of punishment, which are then broadcast to the masses as entertainment. For the Doctor, Varos is the only hope for him to locate the rare mineral Zyton-7, which powers his TARDIS. But when he and Perry arrive, they are caught up in events beyond their control. Freeing the rebel leader Jondar and incurring the wrath of the sinister alien Sil are just the beginnings of their ordeal. Hunted through the concealed terrors of the Punishment Dome, the Doctor becomes the subject of Varos' latest TV entertainment, but this is one show where he is not expected to survive beyond the cliff. Rather an ominous-sounding synopsis. I'll just warn you quickly, I am not feeling particularly well, and correspondingly there's a lot of phlegm accumulating in my throat, so my articulation may be a little stumbling. Anyway, that's a synopsis, and what a phenomenal synopsis it is, and we'll go on to that later. But as always, we'll begin with the positives of this story. First of all, as always, Colin's performance is irrefutably glorious, as always, particularly in the scenes within the Punishment Dome, with witticism unsurpassed, as always. And particularly in the acid bath scene, his witticism is hilarious and just so incomprehensibly brilliant. And the scene in which he is dehydrated under the illusion of demise in a desert, his acting is superb, and he is utterly infallible in this episode, referring to his performance. Furthermore, one of my most favourite scenes throughout Doctor's illustrious history, not to mention, or not just referring to classic, but throughout all of the venerated history, this is an illusion. That scene is just glorious, and Baker's performance is resplendent. Furthermore, as in the entirety of Season 22, Sixth Doctor and Perry's relationship is wonderful, absolutely elating to perceive on screen, and Perry does provide an excellent performance. And I admit she's not the most phenomenal actor in Doctor Who's history. Nonetheless, she does provide a very convincing and rather emotional-inducing performance in this story in particular. The antagonist, Sil, some consider him to be vexatious and possessing some articulations that are a little unnecessary. Vexatious particularly referring to his voice, but I am incredibly fond of this villain. I think he contributes marvellously to the plot, and was basically the first Cassandra. He may seem somewhat incapacitated with his, shall we say, minimal stature, but he's incredibly menacious and barbarous, and the way he delights in the demise and the excruciation of the prisoners is excellent. A wonderful villain in my perception. The supporting cast, yeah, they're relatively interesting, and rather exceedingly convincing, in fact. My sister prevalently criticised the acting in the 80s, but the performance, even from her perception of all of the characters, are brilliant. And particularly the guard captain, I can't remember his name right now, but he produces a resplendent performance, and is the perpetrator of numerous barbarous scenes, and we'll go on to that a little later. Furthermore, or moreover, the governor in the story, I really do find his character really rather good to perceive on the screen. Not only his tendencies and personality, but the performance again from the actor. His name evades my recollection in a moment, but it's just absolutely brilliant. And also, obviously, throughout the story, we see the events of the Punishment Dome through the two viewers. Again, I always hit the names, my apologies. And they're brilliant as well, very convincing. And of course, one of the viewers, on Varos, the Varosian, obviously went on to portray Clara's mother 30 years later, which I think is quite an interesting factoid, quite good if you're a Whovian. So yeah, excellent performance from the governor, the guard captain, and the two main viewers. referring to the synopsis, I have a lot to say about that. The synopsis is utterly unique. It's just such a wonderful, inconceivably brilliant concept of having this populace that relies on torture and demise as their only means of entertainment. Even the mere contemplation of that concept is absolutely enthralling, enamoring, and obviously I'm incredibly fond of it. So yes, the concept of the punishment dome itself, where it's incarcerating an illusion, and whoever enters is not intended to come out. And there's so many innumerable passageways and ways by which you could meet your end, you could perish, and that it's a house of torture, one could say. And it is excellent, and it's wonderfully executed on screen, impeccable setting, exceedingly ominous, done exquisitely, masterfully in fact. So yes, the punishment dome and the whole concept of torture as entertainment is extraordinary. And furthermore, the characters in the series often converse of exporting these tapes of whatever occurred in the punishment dome and executions, tapes of executions. People would enjoy to purchase that. It's really grotesque. It's incredulously morbid, and I like it a lot. And I think it very much relates to modern day, how we're almost addicted to technology. We can't go without technology. And obviously the Varosians have to constantly watch a form of television. And and also they are somewhat slaves in the story of the Varosians, because they have to mine the Zyklon 7, obviously, incessantly. So again, it relates back to how in modern day humans are almost slaves to technology and TV, and just to contemplate that, just stop and conceive that. It's just extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. Negatives wise, I really rather struggle to find any, honestly. Yeah, I'm, as you may have gathered, a man of many words and very perceptive. And if I can't find any negative, the story must incontrovertibly be phenomenal, and that it is. That is indeed. So yes, very little negatives I can find. That really is all I have to say about this story. Extraordinary, marvellous, resplendent, I could go on. Performance from Colin, Six and Perry's relationship is excellent, wonderful antagonist, and obviously he returns in Mind Wolf, and we may go on to review that later. But yes, wonderful antagonist who contributes to the story immeasurably. Supporting cast, all wonderful, marvellous performances, and really integrate this sort of belief in the characters, belief in their emotions. Actually, there is one more thing I would like to say, otherwise than the synopsis. Obviously, as I've previously dictated in both my Twin Dilemma and my Attack of the Cybermen review, throughout Season 22 and the end of Season 21, Doctor Who was being prevalently criticising for being far too barbarous, integrating far too many pugnacious attributes presumably unsuitable for the perception of children, the show being very much a children's show back then. And this story certainly doesn't contradict that. There are a lot of grotesque and morbid scenes that I'm incredibly fond of. And returning to Guard Captain, he's obviously in the story. He's revealed to have experimented on himself with I've forgotten what the name of the machine is, but the machine that morphs creatures. Sorry, I don't know. But the machine that morphs creatures sort of combines the DNA of birds and fishes, etc. Just as Perry and the woman I can't remember the name of is subjected to. And the prosthetics, I must offer my commendation on prosthetics for that. They do really well, and it does show on screen how grotesque it really is, and I love that about that. So yes, wonderful performance from Colin. Six and Perry's relationship is exquisite, excellent antagonist, very menacious, barbarous antagonist. Supporting cast, all wonderful, barbarous attributes there, which I love. Really terrifying the children, excellent. inconceivably wonderful, incontrovertibly, unfathomably wonderful synopsis, absolutely unique in the universe, could not have done it better. And no negatives as I can find. So that concludes this review of Vengeance on Varos. Join me next time in my subsequent video. That's going to be a little different to the previous three, rather. So, until the next time, universe, I bid you adieu.